The Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks on Newsradio 1270 and 106.7 FM KIML.
And welcome back, Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks Hour. We have more than a full house here. We have more people than we have mics. So Chris is going to sit this one out since he usually doesn't participate much in the hockey talk. Okay, we have assistant coach Tim Brownell and head coach Brendan Hodge from the Gillette Wild, and we also have a couple players, and I'm probably going to kill these names, so forgive me, kids, if I mess your names up. Tristan Liebernight, okay, I got that one right. Okay, and Gennady, okay, I'm Zabeline.
Yeah, you got the last name right. No.
No? Okay. Okay. This is why you told me to call him G.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Make things easy.
Yeah. I apologize, guys. I mess people's names up all the time, so I forget my own name if I didn't write it down.
Yeah, well, we actually have a guy that works in our team that actually gets Tim's name wrong.
Yep.
Calls him Tom all day.
Tom.
Oh,
so at least you didn't do that.
My ex-wife's dad used to call me Mike.
Oh.
I have no idea why, but I think he just did it because he was a jerk. Okay, so let's start off talking about last weekend. He had a pretty good weekend. Of course, University of Wyoming was in town. I was out there Friday night. Friday night's game, guys look pretty good. I mean, especially for preseason, at least from my fairly untrained eye, you guys look pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought that the guys came out a little bit more prepared last weekend than they were against Alexandria the weekend before. The effort was there. I thought we kind of had a slow start on Friday, which we got to kind of, we got to squash that as soon as we can because, as we saw a couple Saturdays ago, we came out sleepy against Alexandria, against a good team, and, we were down 5-0 going into the second period, and, the more times that happens, I mean, yeah, we did claw our way back to make it a one-goal game, but, the more that happens, I mean, sooner or later your luck's going to run out, and it's going to be 10-0, 15-0, so what we're trying to teach the guys now is, we got to be ready right from that first puck drop. Right when that puck drops, we have got to be ready. We got to have our mental game ready. And, it's an old saying, but, hockey is 95% mental. The other stuff is, effort and talent. But, if the brain's not into it and you're not ready to go, like a couple weeks ago, like I said, you could be down 5-0 and, you're sitting there going, what just happened? Yeah,
well, and to the team's credit, they were able to make it a game last Saturday night. But that slow start, you gotta make sure you get over those and make sure that doesn't happen in the regular season. So let's talk a little bit about Friday night's game. And of course you weren't here last year for the games against UW, but from everyone that I've talked to that saw both of the games, the UW team was an improved team. I guess that's the best way to put it. They played pretty well. I mean, they looked like a pretty decent team this year.
Yeah. From what we understood from last year, the boys kind of came out and just handled everything pretty easily. So I think that might have been a little bit of the problem leading into it was, we beat them, whatever the score was, 12-1, 15-1. I've heard a couple different scores. But they're definitely a different team. Pennington, player from last year, and then another former UW player, or another former Gillette player, Tyler Johnson. It seems like they have the reins on that team, and it seems like they have them headed in the right direction. It seems like everybody's kind of on board. So they're definitely starting to turn around as well, which is good to see maybe for future for the University of Wyoming. But they were not what everybody had told us, and they shocked us. I mean, we saw them in warm-up. They had 23, 24 kids, and I was looking over there going, oh, wow, they're ready to play. They're here. They're the real deal. and they came out and they surprised us. I think they surprised the boys a little bit on Friday night, and it took them a while to get our skates going, but the result was what we wanted. So
yeah, well, and their goaltender looked pretty strong. I mean, you guys had a lot of shots on Friday night. Once you guys got going, there was a lot of shots. I think it was by the end of 42, 43 shots, something like that. So
I don't know how much that's true,
we're
but
not too sure about that.
Well,
but we did. But we were happy with the play. Sometimes the shots can be kind of. I'm not too sure if we had that many or they had that many. But to be honest with you, it was a good overall game. Just if we could just fix the start of it, it would probably been one of the better games that we've been around, obviously, but not to change the subject from Friday night's game, but Saturday night's game, the way we came out on Saturday night, that's the way that we want to play hockey, and you got to play it for the whole 60 minutes. I thought the guys were way more focused on Saturday, realizing that we won Friday, but the job for the weekend's not complete yet. We got to get that Saturday game too, so you got to wash away Friday and focus in on Saturday. And I thought the guys did a really, really good job of that on Saturday. And like Tim was saying, to get 2 wins this weekend was huge for us, or last weekend was huge for us now leading into Glacier in the regular season this weekend. Kind of get that confidence going in the locker room, get that little feel going that, hey, we can win some games here. We do have this potential. And the one thing that Tim and I were talking about was the variety of people who scored for us too. We weren't relying on 1 or 2 people to score all of our goals. It was a whole bunch of guys that scored for us, and it was always that's always great to see. I mean, even the defenseman chipped in too. I mean, Preston Fuller gets his first goal. I don't know if it was for his career or not, but he scores his first goal as a Gillette Wild, and he played here last year. So it was big to see. Last weekend, I mean, Tyler Tennant chipping in a couple of goals. I mean, he only had 1 goal last year, so a lot of people are chipping in, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a well-balanced attack here this year. Well,
and so let's talk about Saturday night. Obviously, you guys came out a little bit stronger Saturday night, and it looked pretty good. Was there anything that you would that you saw maybe had some room for improvement?
Well, as coaches, I think there's always, and
it's preseason too.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I was happy the whole weekend, to be honest with the guys. There was a few shifts here and there I thought we were sleeping, and the coaches got we got a little feisty ourselves, but it was overall it was a great weekend. The guys stuck together. That they were helping each other. There wasn't really much yelling, and there wasn't much complaining or pouting. There was a lot more of encouragement to guys, helping guys out. I mean, as the 2 guys we have here, older guys on our team, they were trying to help out the younger guys. There's a whole different. There's a whole bunch of things to being a hockey player right now. I mean, you got to show your leadership. You got to make sure you're playing well. There's a lot of things going on, but I mean, I thought that the guys really, really stuck together. They really, really, helped each other, and that's what we were looking for. Now we got to translate that into the regular season coming up here.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the series coming up this weekend in a second. But let's take a second. We'll talk to the players. I know you guys are a little bit shy, not used to talking on the radio.
Yeah, they look like they're chomping at the bits to get on the radio. Look at them.
So let's just do kind of an introduction here, and maybe talk a little bit about where you guys are from and how you ended up in Gillette. I don't know who wants to go first, but I don't know, Coach. Why don't you kind of guide us through these things?
We'll save Gennady for a second here. Tristan, why don't you tell us where you're from and all that?
Tristan Liebernight from Rapid City, South Dakota. Last year, Bryce Mitzel, he aged out last year. Him and I were pretty good friends, and he kind of talked me into coming down here and playing.
Okay. So you're from Rapid. I mean, do you get anything? Do you get any crap back home for coming out to Gillette? Because a little bit maybe.
Yeah, people always say, "Do you like it?" And yeah, I always say it's a good town. I mean, it's kind of boring, but
Well, yeah.
Rapid City's not much of. I mean,
well, there's always. I always wondered. And Coach, you played in Rapid.
Yeah.
Is there a rivalry between Rapid and Gillette, or is it just the rest of Wyoming and Gillette?
To be honest with you, I'm not gonna. I hope I don't say this the wrong way to the people from Gillette. That I never really even heard about Gillette or anything when I was there. I've been living in Rapid City now for about 5-6 years, and I mean, I never really heard much about Wyoming or anything.
Okay.
I mean,
so it's the rest of the state versus Gillette.
I think so.
Okay, I think we've established that then, because I mean I know it's a sore subject when you get to talking to people from Laramie or Casper when Gillette comes up. It's part of kind of being the bad guy sometimes. It's a fun place to be. Okay, so Gennady. Okay, I got it right this time, I hope.
Well, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure if I've ever gotten it right. That's why we call him G. I'm telling you, Don, just call him G.
Okay, G. So tell us a little bit about where you're from.
I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia, and I live in Atlanta currently. And the reason I'm here is that I was talking to my good buddy Kyle Truex. We played together in Atlanta way back in the day, and he was just telling me all about how it is up here, and I thought it would be a good fit for me because I'd be more focused on hockey and working out than distracting things.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of funny. St. Petersburg, you guys get pretty cold winters there, right?
Very.
So it's kind of like here. I mean, the weather's kind of like here, and then you live in Atlanta for the other time. That's got to be a little disappointing. You go from a really cold place to a nice warm place, then have to go back out into the cold.
Yeah, I mean, I like the snow. I like the cold. Georgia's really humid.
Well, that is.
If I had to choose somewhere to move, it wouldn't be Georgia. But.
you got a point with the humidity. Yeah. I know. I know. I went back east for a weekend last summer. As soon as I got off the airplane, it was just like stepping into a steam room. Mm-hmm. Because I've been out here for a couple of years. I wasn't really used to the humidity again. So. Atlanta's a good hockey town, though, isn't it? I mean, Atlanta's gotten to be a pretty good town for hockey.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, obviously, except for the fact that the Thrashers got kicked out of there because they were really bad.
Yeah, well,
there isn't really much to watch, but there's a lot of teams, a lot of rinks. I mean, it's really there's a lot of rinks been.
Yeah,
the past few years.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty good junior system down there, and for some reason, Atlanta and Nashville are the two cities that are doing pretty well in the South. But I mean, I find it interesting that you have two players here that were both recruited by former Wild players. That kind of speaks to the organization.
Well, Kyle Truex is still playing for us.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He was actually in here a few weeks ago talking with us, Don. But
I tell you, my memory is terrible.
Yeah, but no, it was it just shows what this organization has been for the past couple of years. I mean, guys are really going to bat for what has been going on around here, and and to bring in two guys like this, and both these guys are defense pairings on our team. So they're getting to know each other very well now, and the more that we can get guys like these guys who will be aging out after this year, the more that they can kind of talk to people and tell them how their experience was in Gillette. As you were asking me earlier, I mean, I didn't even know where Gillette was. So I mean, the more we get guys like this who come here and that are happy with everything, and they can kind of tell other people when they go back to their homes and. Tell them, Gillette is a great hockey town. It's a great place. Fans really get behind you. I mean, to be honest with you, I've played in a lot of preseason games, a lot of junior preseason games, and I don't think I've seen a preseason crowd like that before. I mean, there was, 500 fans in there to watch a preseason hockey game. I mean, that's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest with you.
Well, there are minor league professional teams that draw that sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
and that's even for regular season games, maybe even.
Yeah, it's interesting, and we talked about it before. I can speak for Friday night. Especially by the end of the game, that crowd was getting really loud, and the way the building's designed, where the crowd's way up above everybody, it just kind of comes down and certainly makes a hostile environment for the other team.
Mm.
Yeah, we hope it is. There's some times that the crowd gets really loud, and that's what we love. I think the boys like it too, that they kind of feed off of that energy that the crowd brings. So the louder and the more exciting and the more into the game the crowd can get, the more the boys' adrenaline's going to get going, the more energy they're going to be bringing every shift, just to try and keep the crowd going and keep them into it.
Oh yeah, well, and I think there was only one cowbell there Friday night, and there'll be more cowbells.
Yeah, we need more cowbells.
More cowbells.
Some of them vuvuzelas or whatever it was from the World Cup a few years back. We need to get those things in there too.
And some thunder sticks.
Yeah.
We need to do a promotion. Get thunder sticks. That should shake things up a little bit.
No. Just bring a few cowbells. We don't need all that noise going on. gives the coaches a headache sometimes.
That actually brings up a question I've always wondered about that kind of thing. I mean, when you're calling plays from the bench and it's loud like that, I mean, I imagine you got sometimes you got a little bit of problem getting the plays out.
Yeah, but by the time that the guys get to the games, I mean, they're ready to go. I mean, there's really not much yelling by Tim and I about plays or anything like that. I mean, we kind of throw some pressure onto the boys here to kind of, I want them to be creative. I want them to be able to kind of step out of the box a little bit and do some things. And we're definitely not. I definitely don't want them to be robots. Like, I want you to go here, I want you to go there. I mean, I want them. Hockey's a quick game. Hockey's a fast-paced game, and you got to be thinking that, a quick second. I mean, you got to be thinking, So it's not like I can go out there and just draw up on the board and say, okay, G and Tristan, you got to be right here. You can't do that. I mean, you got to be able to waver a little bit. And I think so far with, the talent that we have, especially on the defensive side of things, I mean, as you can see, it's a little bit faster pace this year. Our D-men are, they're jumping up in the play. They're going to be very aggressive. They're going to, they have a chance to skate with it. I'm telling them, skate with it. If our forwards aren't open, don't pass the puck to them, go with it, skate with it, kind of common sense a little bit there, get your head up, you see that guy's covered. Well, why would you even think about passing it to him? Now you got to kind of think outside the box, and maybe you have to go the whole end of the ice yourself. I mean, and then our forwards have got to be smart enough to cover for them, which I think for a whole we've done a really good job of that, and we haven't even taught that, to be honest with you, about the forwards thinking like that. When you see the D-men going, the forwards are always staying back, and we haven't taught that. So whatever has been taught to these kids in the past is definitely, they're definitely doing a really good job with it.
Well, and that is one of the things that I did notice, at least Friday night. It was a little bit more open. I mean, there's a lot more skating, skating back and forth, and as opposed to just dumping the puck and just chasing it. I mean, it was a lot more skating with the puck, which I think makes for a little bit more of an exciting game. I mean, instead of just dumping into the zone all the time and then hoping you get an opportunity off that.
Yeah, we're trying to really instill that into the boys this year, and we don't know if that's just what they were taught in years past or what, but they have a lot more time than they think they have when they're on the ice. And it's even fans and other people have come up and said, in the last 4 years they've been a dump and chase team. And you work so hard to get that puck. Why do you want to get it off your stick so quick? Take your time, make a play, go D to D, look for a forward who's swinging. If you have room, skate it up. Obviously, if you don't have anybody with you and you're skating it down the ice, put it in. You don't want to go in the zone 1-on-5 and risk turning it over. And it's just that hockey sense that these guys have that we're really trying to push this year, and it's going to help them out a lot, because when they go to that higher level, if they want to go play college or go play pro, I've never seen a college or a pro team in this era now that it's a dump and chase team. it's you work hard to get that puck, make a play, keep the puck on your stick, and get something going off of it.
Yeah, well, and I think that seems to be the way. That seems to be the way a lot of hockey is going these days. I mean, because the players are just so athletic now. I mean, they can do so much more.
Oh yeah,
I remember back when I was a kid. These guys were good athletes, but they're nothing compared to the guys you see now.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I've only been out of the game now for 2-3 years now, I think, and even when I was playing, the game's changed already. I mean, it's only been 3 years that I haven't played in a game, and it's already changed. It's kind of crazy. I mean, when I was playing, it was kind of it was more along the lines of a dump and chase, that kind of style. And I think it was kind of when Crosby came into the league, or Malkins and all those guys.
Yeah,
they kind of changed it quite a bit. And then you got the Taves of Patrick Kane's and all these Datsuk. I had to throw that in for you, G. Yeah. Those guys came in the league and they really changed it. Now it's more of a puck control game. It's like Tim was saying, you work so hard for that puck. Why get it off your stick so quick? Make a good play. Get your head up. Make a good play. I mean, it's not that hard to do. You've been taught passing since you were in mites and squirts. So, pick your head up and make a good play. Have confidence in yourself. That's what we're trying to tell these guys: is have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in your ability. We're not going to be yelling at you to get this puck off your stick. It's like we want control of it. So take it back for a second. Let the play develop. Make the strong play.
Be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, be a little more patient. Yeah, that's what you need in this game, especially on the defensive side of it. When you're in the neutral zone, you're trying to regroup. You need to have patience because you got to wait for the guys to get over the blue line. You got to wait for them to get offside. Get on sides, and then the forwards have got to do their curls and all that. So it's like take a second, wait for the play to develop, and then let's go. Let's go as a group instead of like Tim was saying. Instead of going 1-on-5, let's go 5-on-5. Let's wait for your support.
Get everybody ready?
And let's go. Yeah.
Okay. So, how are you feeling going into this series this weekend? I mean, it's the start of the opening season. I imagine it's a pretty exciting time.
Yeah, it definitely is. Especially for us coaches as new coaches in this league right now. It's a lot of fun. It's I think Tim and I have had a blast coaching so far in the 2 games that the 2 weekends we've coached. We do have a couple of injuries that is kind of hampering us right now, especially with the lack of players that we have. The numbers. I mean, that's kind of making us a little bit nervous. We're all over the phones. We're on the internet. We're on the emails. We're trying to find players, but at the end of the day, it's kind of the same thing that we've been saying all year. There's so many teams at this level and not enough players. And you have some teams that have 9 players on their team, and they're standing firm too, and they won't fold. And it's like, how are you going to play with 9-10 players? Like But that's the nature of the beast this year. It really is. It's tough. It's really you got to be on the ball like right away when the phone rings. You got to be ready and to call these teams and get players. But as a group, I like our group. I think Tim and I both like our group that we have in the locker room. Seems like they all get along. Seems like they're really, really close. And the play on the ice has been, we can't say perfect, but, obviously the coaches want it to be perfect. But, I think it's been, you can see that there's a lot of potential coming. And, I see there's a lot of potential that's going to happen this year with the guys that we have and the character guys that we have on our team. You can definitely see it's going to be a promising year.
Okay, so this weekend you have Glacier coming in, and so just tell us a little bit about what we should expect to see.
I don't know, Tristan, you played them last year. Don't want to put you on the spot here.
If I remember right, Glacier usually ends up tending to be a little bit more of a physical series, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Glacier, they always come with a lot of fire because they tend to get kind of blown out.
Yeah, well, and if you had to live in Havre, you'd probably have a chip on your shoulder too.
Exactly. But, yeah, they play with a chip on their shoulder. Definitely, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to play against them. Hard to get the team ready to go because everyone's online looking at their last scores, and it's hard to. It's just hard to get people ready to go for that, and you got to always constantly remind them that they're gonna come at you with everything that they have.
Yeah, I imagine it probably. I don't think they had any coaching changes, so I imagine they'll probably have the same philosophy coming in. So how do you prepare for something like that?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, like Tristan was saying, just to reiterate what he was saying there, I mean, we saw their scores from last weekend, and they weren't very pretty. But as a competitor, as hockey players are, I mean, if I was on a team that we just got blown out the weekend before, you better believe that we'll be ready to come on Friday, because you're chomping at the bits for that next game to come. You're chomping at that bits to get on the ice so you can, redeem yourself from what happened. I mean, we've all been on teams before that's gotten blown out. I mean, that's just a fact. It happens. And to be honest with you, every time that we've gotten blown out when I was a hockey player, we're focused in on next Friday. Yeah, practices stink because the coaches are probably yelling at you a lot. They're bag skating you. You're working really, really hard. And then Friday comes, you are so, I don't want to say mad at the coach, but you're so mad that he made you do all this work during the week, and it's like Friday comes and you
want to take it out on the other team.
And you're ready to go. So basically what we're trying to instill in our players this week is, like Tristan was saying, is, it doesn't matter who we're playing. Doesn't matter what team we're playing. We have got to make sure ourselves are ready to go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they lost 15, 20, whatever it was to 1. It doesn't matter. It's a new week. It's a new day. It's like we got to be ready to go for this challenge, because as Tim and I have been telling the guys, I mean, after this weekend coming up, I mean, we are going every single weekend basically till Christmas. And then after Christmas, we're going every single weekend until the end of the year. So you don't get much of a break here. So, we got to be ready. We got to get that, that workman's mentality into our head a little bit of this is a job, and we've got to come ready to play every single night. Doesn't matter who we're playing.
Well, and definitely want to pack the house. Friday night, puck drops 7:05 over at Spirit Hall Ice Arena. Yep. And Saturday, right?
Yep.
Friday and Saturday, 7:05. Glacier will be in town. They're always fun games to watch, and don't let the scores from last weekend fool you. Glacier can sneak up on you. They're not a bad team, and they're fun games to watch. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna go into any details, but they were definitely very physical last year. So
that's what we hear. So
yeah, they'll be. I imagine the crowd will be insane for this one. So 7:05 Spirit Hall Ice Arena. Thank you, coaches, and thank you guys for coming in. I know it's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but you'll get used to it after a while.
Yeah, they'll be back in quite a bit. We're trying to defeat some fears this year. So
it's fun. See, you can use that as a recruiting tool. You get to talk on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you Friday night.
Okay.
Sounds
perfect.
Good. Thanks.
And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
The Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks on Newsradio 1270 and 106.7 FM KIML.
Okay. Okay, somebody's missing. Okay, here we go. Oh.
It's him! It's the vigilante! It's Sting Sherwood! I don't believe it!
I guess I shouldn't turn his mic on before he gets his headset on. Just hear bumping around.
It's the vigilante in the flesh!
Don't worry, we have plenty of time.
Look, Vic looks thrilled.
He looks like Rollins when Sting first appeared.
Just don't break his neck, please.
He said he was going to come here and give you a Scorpion Death Drop, which wouldn't be the first time.
No, it wouldn't be the first time somebody did that to me.
Although I did try and clear it with him earlier. He said he's not sure he could take it at his age.
No. I was in my 20s.
So that means you're up, Chris.
Okay, as long as you do it on the table.
And I'm sober, which, I would never do that when I'm sober. And, since we're not allowed to drink at work, it's not a...
well, we're not?
Well, we're not supposed to.
Oh. Whoops.
I'm too old for that kind of stuff. So, Sting Sherwood joining us.
Just for a minute. I only got a minute.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, you do have a job.
You got to cut a promo in less than a minute. Go.
Yeah, right. Hey, did you watch the event Sunday? No, you.
I was at ZZ Top. I actually watched it last night, though.
What'd you think?
It was pretty good until Sting got his neck broken. It was pretty. It was actually really. It was a pretty good event.
There's a little piece of me that's glad to find out that he got hurt, because otherwise I thought he looked really old.
Yeah.
But now that he got hurt, now that kind of gives an excuse.
He didn't look bad till he got his neck broken.
Yeah.
It was for a 56-year-old guy. He looked pretty good.
He's in good shape. I'll give him that.
It was a lot of knocking Rollins out of the ring and stalling, but other than that, it was pretty good. I have no complaints, and he apparently he's going to be all right, but he might not actually wrestle again. So
that's too bad. I think he was. I agree with Chris. I think he was going to play a big part.
Yeah.
In the coming months.
I wouldn't want to be a writer for him right now, trying to figure out what to do next.
Exactly. All right. Well.
Okay. Well, we'll
let Sting Sherwood later.
We'll let you get back to your day job, patrolling the rafters here at the station. Okay. So we have Vic Wright in studio. I know. Vic is a good sport for putting up with that. Okay. So we got a lot of Gillette pronghorn stuff to go over, and I know. Let's see. We got injuries. We got all kinds of stuff here. Where do you want to start?
We'll start out with injuries. Let's see. Yesterday went out to the open gym for the pronghorn women as well as the pronghorn men. Pronghorn women, just a couple players banged up. Nothing too severe. Of course, Taylor Deaton, they're still waiting to see what the status of her will be right now. Still recovering from her surgery, and that'll be... I believe it was October 1st when they might be able to find out what the status will be on the pronghorn women, but on the pronghorn men.
Well, hold on with Taylor. Do they have a date that they can't redshirt somebody afterwards, or is it just can happen anytime?
Well, I would think. I mean, technically, if you play a game and then you get injured, sometimes you can redshirt if you play one game.
Okay, so
I
they have the luxury of waiting until they find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the first practice doesn't even start till first official practice doesn't even start till October 1st.
Okay, so and that'll give her almost a full year, right? I mean, it was what November. When
no, it was March.
So it was March.
Yeah.
Wow, I was way off on months. so what is that? October would probably be about 6 months. So that actually what was an ACL, right?
Yeah,
ACL. So I imagine that's kind of early, but they'll know, I guess.
A couple others, just icing knees and stuff like that. Nothing too bad. I think it was 3 players weren't playing during their open gym session, but it wasn't too bad. But on the men's side, Bamba J, he's actually from Senegal, but he was recruited out of Quality Education, one of the couple players that were brought in from North Carolina. He suffered what is called a Jones fracture. And I'm going to give you this is from foothealthfacts.org. This is the website. Jones fractures occur in a small area of the fifth metatarsal that receives less blood and is therefore more prone to difficulties in healing. Jones fracture can be either a stress fracture, tiny hairline break that occurs over time, or an acute sudden break, which most likely in this case happened for Bamba. Bottom line is they're looking at 12 weeks. Head coach Sean Neary was saying they're hopefully going to have Bamba J back at the beginning of December. That's what they're hoping for.
And so he broke his pinky toe, and I guess since it doesn't receive as much blood, that's a tough one to heal.
What he was saying was, I guess he kind of, the way head coach Sean Neary was describing it last night was he kind of rolled it. And I think Bamba, when I was talking to Bamba yesterday, is I guess he did it when he was, they do a lot of strength and conditioning. at the beginning, right when they bring him in, they do a lot of lifting the heavy tires and jumping up and down, and apparently, he was like getting on top of a platform, I guess, and going down a platform. If I understood Bamba correctly, he was getting up on a platform or going down one, and that's he kind of rolled that part of the foot, and that's what happened.
Now, have either of you guys ever had a broken toe?
No, I've never had a broken bone in my body.
I've broken the same one twice. There's nothing you can do for it except stay off of it. I mean, they can tape it to the other toe, and that's really all they can do.
I believe he had surgery.
Oh, so he had to have surgery too. Now
Neary was comparing this to
like turf toe or something.
No, to Des Bryant.
Oh, okay. So he had like a bone graft type thing or something.
I don't know if he had a bone graft, but he was comparing it to he compared it to Des Bryant last night. So I mean it's the toe being broken is nothing to laugh at. I mean it's a pretty painful.
When was that time frame?
They hope to have him back by the beginning of December.
Okay. So he broke it fairly recently then.
Yeah. So they hope to have him, because Neary was saying, what do we have, like 6 or 7 games in December? We hope to have him for 6 or 7 games in December, and then, Region 9 play doesn't start until the 6th of January. So they'd like to have him ready to go by Region 9 play, if that's possible. Other than that, that's it for the injuries. I mean, like I said, on the women's side, just a couple players, bumps and bruises. The Pronghorn women, this is something that head coach Ryder's done ever since I've been here. They go on this retreat, I think for a weekend. They go on a weekend retreat, and they go to somewhere in Spearfish, somewhere in the Black Hills, and it's a team bonding weekend, and so they're getting ready for that, I believe, this weekend. So they have that going on, and then the first jamboree for the Pronghorn women will be at Sheridan College. That's on the 10th. So it's going to be here in 20 days. And then I believe it's the 17th is the first scrimmage for the Pronghorn men. So
wow,
it's going to be here before I know it. Then the big news, the good news, the fun news, is we finally come out with our broadcast schedule. And I'm excited about this year. I really am.
Big expansion this year.
Yes. Last year we called, I believe it was 35 games. That includes all the playoff games that we called with the Pronghorn men, including going to Hutch and everything. I think we called 35 games last year. This year, just for the regular season, we'll be calling 42 games between the women and the men. And that includes all the Region 9 games. And that means road and home games. So we'll be going to Sheridan. We'll be going to Riverton. We'll be going to Rock Springs. We'll be going to Powell. We'll be going to Miles City. So we'll be going to all those. During tournament time, we'll be going to a couple of the Riverton games. Riverton's hosting a tournament on the men's side on the 6th and 7th of November. So I'll be going down there for those. And then, of course, there are going to be lots of home games as well. As this will should be, as long as there's no weather delaying it, this should be the last year at the South Campus for the Pronghorn teams.
Yeah, they're starting to make a little progress out the site. For a while there, all I saw was a crane. Now they're starting to get some stuff down.
They're starting to get a lot of stuff down.
I was out there digging yesterday.
Well, you got you work in radio. You got to have a second job somewhere. So you're digging ditches on the side.
So taking a look here, first games, as I mentioned, October 30th will be the start of the season. Both teams will be playing on October 30th. The women will take on Lamar Community College. The men will take on Dawson Community College. Of course, Dawson Community College used to be part of the Region 9. They switched over to a different region area, so they're no longer part of our area. So that's why we don't play them as much anymore, or they don't play them as much anymore. So they don't play them in the Region 9 area, or in the Region 9 section of the season. But they'll be playing them during the tournament section. But taking a look at lots of common teams they've always played, Colorado Northwestern. The one big one this year was Lake Region State College, especially on the men's side. The reason for that is because that's the team that assistant coach Joe Cattell went to go coach for, but he's not coaching for them anymore because he got that job at University of Mary.
Yeah, so very. That's and of course all the games will be on 93.3 The Legend and
93.3 The Legend online as well through BasonsRadio.com and NetworkOneSports.com. So the bulk of the Region 9 schedule will start on the 1st of January, goes through the 20th of February. But there's some games peppered in there in late October and November. December, they're mainly on the road to faraway places, games that we won't be calling. There are only a handful, and then, of course, they go into holiday break, and then when they get back from holiday break, that's when they start the Region 9 play.
There's a lot of driving for you this year.
I'm okay with that. I'm not complaining.
In January. Well, you have a four-wheel drive.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll ride with them. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Can I catch a ride too? Or
what about my private jet?
Well,
we need the Basin Radio jet. Seriously.
Yeah,
I'll talk to the bosses.
I'd be in for a jet. I don't know who's going to fly it, but we could get somebody to fly it. Oh, okay.
Okay, then I'm out.
Yeah, we're out then. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Vic, and we'll see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow, and we got to get out of here. Stay tuned for Rush.
This is the Don Carpenter Show on the new News Radio 1270 and 106.7 FM KIML. KIML. KIML.